Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Friday as you are listening to the show today. It is Farm Market Friday. We are pre-recording our conversation with Eddie Richard from Richard's Fruit Market on a Thursday morning. We are sort of at the market. We're in Eddie's kitchen, which is market adjacent, isn't that? That's what we'll call it.
And cooler.
And a lot cooler than what the market is.
Hello, everybody.
So, Eddie, we've got a peach festival coming up this weekend. I do this segment at least once a month on Farm Market Friday where I'm talking to farmers or farmers markets and that sort of stuff. So I put you late in my rotation because I knew you'd want to talk about the peach festival. How many years have you been doing the peach festival now?
30 plus. I would say 33 if I had to take I don't have it memorized, but it's over 30 years. We started the first area's peach festival in August, and then in October, we did the first area's apple farm market festival the same year. So they were and have been and will always be our annual festive events.
And you've added over the years, in just the last couple of years, you've added several new events. The Tomato Festival just kind of went crazy.
When my dad passed in 1986, and my mom and I were at the helm of taking care of business here on the farm, the decision was made that we would start these festivals. So I've had a whole bundle of activities over 30 years. We've had a wine festival a couple of times. We've had 14 years of the state gourd festival in November. Just like the economy, things come and go. There's highs and there's lows. So the peach and the apple have been
mainstays.
Good for us, and we're so happy to celebrate each one.
Well, because it means a good harvest, which is a foundation for what you do here. You couldn't have a festival for peaches if you didn't have peaches to celebrate.
And so last year, let's have a pandemic, okay? And then we're like unsure emotionally if people were willing to come out to a farm peach festival. So we threw caution to the wind and we did it. And it was as equal as any best party we ever had. We had everything spaced and safe, and we didn't get one complaint, and we had a great time. So we were looking around saying, all right, this was good. Let's do something else. So we started the area's first tomato festival in September.
See, and I am not a tomato fan. Not a big fan of tomatoes. I may eat them if they come on my burger at Red Robin or somewhere like that. My husband thinks the greatest dinner on the planet is a toasted tomato sandwich. I had no idea the popularity of tomatoes with everybody else in this community because it was hugely successful.
Oh my gosh. We did the fried green tomatoes. That was the specialty. So what happens with each one of our parties, we do a specialty food item. For the Peach Festival, this coming Sunday, August the 15th from 11 to 4, it's country music, bluegrass the entire time. Our specialty food is peach. The peach milkshakes will be featured. at its own space in the lawn. For the Tomato Festival, the feature food will be the fried green tomatoes, fried up fresh. You can have it as your own main course or a side dish to our burgers and other foods that we offer, the homemade pizzas. And then October is our Apple Festival, so we have all sorts of apple dishes available. And then we'll end the season in November. Let's just have a farm party.
A free-for-all.
A free-for-all farm party. And it's the same floor plan. It's a free event. There's no cost to come in and enjoy the music and chill out. We have a wine and beer garden. We have a delicious farm-to-table food tent. And all the normal stuff that we have that we carry. So at all of the parties, we offer our own farm-raised, grain-finished burgers.
Which are amazing.
Yeah,
I've talked about it all the time, that your beef is the only beef in my freezer ever.
Yeah. There's some puns that I'm not going to go with right there, but
you don't want me to have to edit them out later.
We're not going to edit me right this minute, but boy, the things go through my mind.
And the cool thing about all of these festivals, and in particular the Peach Festival, pandemic or not, 95% of everything that happens at all of these festivals is outside. And for that small 5%, it's still in the market, which has the massive door on the front, the two big doors on the back. It's an open air market. The 5% is still 4% outside too.
It's open air. If the air's hot, it's going to be hot. If the air's cold, it's going to be cold. But the later in the season, we've got two big fire pits that we've set up and kept them up. So that'll take care of that. Can't do much about the heat. But we do have a farm animal petting zoo for the kids of all ages to enjoy. And we've got a barrel train ride for the children.
So cute with those little barrels with the little seats cut out, and the kids get in it and they get pulled around with the lawn tractor. It is the cutest thing ever to watch.
And that's all free. These parties are set up for people just to come out, not be taken for every dime that they've got. What you purchase is what you pay for. We've got lots of parking. We've got added parking now to the side of the market. We've got Bud's Collective on this Sunday from 12 to 3. And we have the new country sensation, Jake Cohen. And Jake Cohen is playing from 11 to 12 and from 3 to 4.
And he's just a kid. I mean, of course, to you and I, anybody under the age of 30 is just a kid.
He's 14.
He's just a kid that started playing here as an opener at some festivals, and now he's come into his own, and he's playing at Bright Box, I understand.
Yeah, he wasn't as an opener. He was a filler in between sets of the bluegrass. He would have like 15 minutes just to play. He was 12, and he is his voice is now dropping an octave or two this year. So this young man is truly amazing. He's country inspired and he's authentic. He writes his own music, and he has self-learned and gets tutored by Buddy Dunlap
from Bud's
Collective, because the first year when he was 12 and we knew that he was starting to play, and we had him to come over, and he played one song, and it literally was like, where did this come from? So we were like, if you can do it and want to do it, you can play a couple of songs when Bud's Collective is on break. So he did it, and it was a big hit. So now
he's opening.
he has his own sets now, and he's got a bright future, and we're real proud of him. He's a really good kid. He comes from a great family, and we love him, and he's.
So the Peach Festival is this Sunday, 11 to 4. Tell me the address.
6410 Middle Road, Middletown.
So it's a Middletown address. You are literally halfway between Winchester and Strasburg on Middle Road, practically, right?
Yeah, correct.
Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, you mentioned your dad a minute ago, so I want you to give a little bit of history of how long you've been here, because that is a really, really, really big deal. You're fifth generation here. So let's talk about that a little bit when we come back. Does that work?
Works for me.
We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. We are pre-recording our conversation today at Richard's Fruit Market. The Peach Festival is happening this Sunday from 11 to 4. The address, of course, is 6410 Middle Road in Middletown. You can Google it. You can type it into your phone and just say, hey, Siri, take me to Richard's Fruit Market, and she'll tell you how to get there.
It'd be funny if your wife was named Siri.
We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Got a financial decision to make or a goal to reach, but you don't know where to start? You've come to the right place. Introducing Quick Money Chats with the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program. Visit tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat to schedule a virtual chat with a staff member or trained volunteer. We won't tell you what to do, but we will give you the tools you need to choose wisely. And because Virginia Cooperative Extension is part of Virginia Tech and Virginia State, your land-grant universities, you can be sure that our information is credible and trustworthy. And you'll know that we aren't trying to sell you something. Maybe you want to improve your credit score, or reduce your banking overdraft fees, or even figure out if you can afford to buy that car. Sorting through tons of information on the internet can be overwhelming, and sometimes it can be hard to know who to trust. Schedule a quick money chat and get the information you need to take action. Go to tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat and get financial education personalized for you.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Friday. As you are listening to the show today, we are pre-recording our conversation for Farm Market Friday. We are sitting at the kitchen table with Eddie Richard from Richard's Fruit Market. We are Farm Market adjacent recording today. And Eddie, in the first segment, we were talking about the Peach Festival that's happening this Sunday. We'll do more details about that before we wrap up. But you mentioned when your father passed in 1986. Tell me the history of this market, because you're 5 generations. You're a century farm, right?
Absolutely. Could be a couple.
A couple centuries old.
One item we have in our market, which we get daily compliments on, is our family tree photos and info about the family history on a wall. And it starts, the top 2 photos, my great-grandparents. So they would be the first generation that purchased this property that we are sitting on, and started their family, built their home, started building the barns and the sheds around, and started it all. They had their children.
They were the settlers.
They were the settlers in 1878. So their son, Harvey Jr., was my grandfather. He was next in line and continued on the farming practice.
Was it just apples then? Was it a farm as they were traditionally known?
The fruit trees evolved onto the property during the second generation. Into the third. Back in those days, if you would remember, Janet.
Oh, yeah, because it's like it was yesterday.
Yeah, that people farmed for their own food.
Right.
So they had pigs, and then you sold the excess if you could. But you would log the lumber on your property and build your buildings and your trusses and all of this stuff. So that's how I got started. Second generation was involved with the beginning of the fruit trees. The third generation, which would be my mom and dad, started the market. They were married in 1953, so we're 67 years in, and we are the oldest existing farm market in our area that hasn't changed its address. We are creating products from our own soil to sell for 67 years.
Which is crazy.
Now, in our community, there's generational families that can go up to 10 generations.
In generational farms, but not
But
all of the things together like what you have
been
here.
selling out of a garage or a wagon. We can proudly say we are stamped in concrete and have been in the same space on our property for 67 years. So when people come into our market and they see the wall, especially the new folks, and they read down, and then when I introduce myself to say, hello, have you been here before? And if they say no, then I'll start to say a little bit, and they'll go, we just read your wall. So they've already got
a base education.
A base education on what I was welcoming them to.
And you're fourth generation. You were young. When your dad passed away in 86, you were young to suddenly have the entire farm on your shoulders.
26. I was 26. He was 56 when he passed in 1986. I literally knew nothing. I mean, that's how I felt. I had listened and was his son, an employee, and followed him around. I shadowed him as an adult.
But it's different when suddenly now you're really in it and in the weeds.
We had a lot more happening with farming at that point. We had more acreage of apples and peaches, and things were extremely mature. They had been in the ground for 50 years, so things were ready to phase out, and I hadn't experienced replanting. So I had a good 5 years of getting to know...
Learning curve.
Getting to know myself on the farm and for it not to go down the tubes. So my mom handled the market, and we all love the retail end of it. So there we are.
And then
in my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, and my 50s.
And then in comes the fifth generation because Kayla has returned to the market.
I'd been previously married, had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl, Chase, Cameron, and Kayla. And the boys have gone off with their own interest in their own careers. Kayla went off to college out to Colorado and was gone for 9 years. So in my mind, I was starting to
your succession plan was just
in my mind, privately, quietly in my brain, I was figuring out how I was going to continue this on and keep the market going and make it easier on me as I got older. And so I had a plan in my brain. I hadn't started the plan yet because I wasn't that old yet, so I could still handle everything. And my mom was so managing the market, and we were all working there together. So then when I got the phone call from Kayla,
"Hey, Dad, I'm coming home."
I was like, what? And so my brain had to open back up and reevaluate.
After it finished the happy dance, of course, because your daughter's coming back. First and foremost, Kayla's coming home.
I've learned with 3 kids, you wait till you actually see them standing in front of you before you go, okay, this is actually going to happen.
Yeah, and they all come back at some point for some period of time.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah. People don't think that they don't come back because they do. And with more people. And so 6 years ago, we had a big farm wedding. Mm-hmm. We had Kayla starting then full time and a new beginning 6 years ago.
Yep. And then along comes, again, back to the sixes, the 6th generation, because she now has 2 kids.
She's got 2 sweet little
adorables
kids. Little Dakota, she's 2 3/4 age, and then little Maverick is 7 months. So we went from juggling one thing to another. Now we got farm market babies, and
It's quite an accomplishment, and it's such a big change from what you were thinking just a few short years ago about how you were going to manage and maybe streamline or even downsize. Now you've grown. You've added more festivals. You were telling me before we started recording that you've added more peach trees. You're growing everything. You're selling more beef. There's so much more that you're doing now that you probably never would have done
at my elderly age. I'm working harder than I've ever worked in my life, it feels like. It's all good. Kayla and I get along just beautifully. We're on the same page. There's no power struggles. We just have fun. We laugh throughout the day.
And she's brought a lot of cool stuff to the market because of her age, because of how she thinks, and has expanded
alcohol.
She expanded the bakery dramatically. The craft beer that's here now was her idea. There's a lot of things that she's really brought to the table. Local products from local businesses and local makers. A lot of that she's expanded that really has made the market grow.
She has her thoughts, and that's ever changing as the economy goes and new products are being developed and people are thinking about more homegrown foods. It's all because of her that we are really focused in on having as many quality, locally made products in our market available for our customers, which is goat cheese from Front Royal, cheddar cheese from Berryville, tortilla chips from Boyce. Those suckers are delicious.
Well, and you were telling me Mattapani wine is made, they do their peach wine using your peaches, which is like the coolest thing ever. They've been doing that for several years, but that's just another thing that is local, but it's wine.
It's wine, yeah, and it's a specialty thing that not everybody can brag about.
And not everybody can get a bottle. So when it's here, because it is limited quantity, you really got to make sure that you're here when it's here, or stock up when you have the opportunity.
Situations arise back at their winery that are unforeseen, where a barrel could go bad or get unplugged, or we don't know what happens. But it can be a limited supply. We're offering local hard ciders from different vendors. We raise our own beef cattle, so we have that ourselves. We do our own vegetables. We do most of the vegetables. I don't grow everything.
Even if you're not growing it here, it's still a local vegetable. You're not buying it from a distributor. You're getting it from another farmer that may be down the road. It may be,
during our own in season, it's local. Now, April, May, early June, there's not anything much local.
Yeah.
So everything's got to be sourced in from somewhere, like all of the markets.
Right.
Nobody's growing cantaloupe in April. But you want to know where my stuff's from, you just ask me.
And you are completely open and honest.
I cannot. That's one. I have pet peeves. I've got a whole bucket full of them. But
okay, that's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother show.
That might have to be a podcast, because I'm not sure that's something you went out on the radio.
Right. Well, but let's be honest about where our stuff comes from. I don't want any assumptions that if my name's on it, it's made directly right there. That's not altogether true. There are stuff that we can produce. Can't do everything.
We got to wrap up in a minute or two. So let's wrap up with details again for the Peach Festival. It is this Sunday from 11 to 4, 6410 Middle Road in Middletown. Live music, pick your own flowers. That's something unique.
Yeah, we've had it for 25 years. a beautifully
curated,
done, pick your own flower garden. We've got gladiolas, zinnias, and sunflowers. It's $8, and you get a jar.
And a pair of scissors.
And you take the jar home.
So people can do that when they're here.
Oh, yeah.
Food, there'll be
That's
tons.
available 7 days a week.
Right.
The pick your own flower garden. Everything that we do is available 7 days a week, except for when we have the parties, then we have specialty things that get brought in.
Free admission, so people could literally come out, spend the entire day, listen to the music, do the barrel train rides, wander around the flower garden, and leave, and never have spent a dime.
Right. We've got cornhole boards that we set up. We have badminton that we'll set up. I've done that all the time on purpose. Mm-hmm. No admission. It means a lot to be able to bring in families and let them spend their money on themselves and not so much on the venue, because we're going to have the party anyway.
Right.
So all of them are set up the same way. Peach, the tomato, the apple, and then the farm party in November. So weather permitting, everything goes as smooth. If it starts to get a little rainy, we're going to do it anyway.
I think Sunday is when we're actually going to get a break in the weather, and it's not going to be dreadfully hot.
God bless the fact that we got some water. We needed rain really, really, really bad. I'll never wish... A farmer will never wish rain away. The heat and humidity,
yeah, you can do without that.
That's a sticky subject.
So richardsfruitmarket.com, Facebook is Richards Fruit Market, Instagram is Richards Fruit Market. All of those places they can get more information, not just about the Peach Festival this Sunday, but about all of the things that you offer here. And you could even buy some of the products and stuff from your website as well.
We're getting in beautiful tomatoes out of our garden, like by the boxes. So ask about box deals. The more you buy, the cheaper it gets. We've got everything all set up. So just be safe, everybody, and come out and
enjoy. Well, thank you for taking some time at the kitchen table to chat with me today.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody that comes around and sees us.
Get out, have a great weekend. Come to the Peach Festival.
Thank you, Janet, for having me on.
You're welcome, Eddie. I will be back on Monday. I am strolling Strasbourg this weekend with Olivia Hilton. So on Monday, you will get to hear our conversation as we stroll. I believe we're talking to Sager Real Estate, which is kind of interesting because Tim and I have been toying with the idea of buying a house in Strasbourg. I know Eddie is looking quite shocked. And then I think Olivia's going to give me the details for Vintage in the Valley that is coming up at the end of August. So meet me back here for all of that on Monday, unless you see me at the market on Sunday for the Beach Festival, 11 to 4.